I guess, to get it all working out.
Right.
So my other topic that I did was JSON. Let me just close all of these. It was a pain having to open and close the whole time.
I know.
Okay, let's just clear this. So this is my JSON page, and I created a file, a JSON file as well. So I had the object to JSON. So I went through the thing, and it took forever to go through all the different examples in that. So this is how or at least how I think it is, of the object to JSON. So I created a JSON object, which is beef, and I put the seasoning and salt and pepper. And then I put a seasoning again, and then I put steak spice. Now, it overwrites this instance of seasoning, and it adds it into steak spice. I put grams, whatever. The cut is sirloin. And so that all gets added into, well, except the salt and pepper, into the beef JSON object. I did the same with chicken with its own thing. And then I connected all those JSON objects, and I put it into meat itself, another object. So it's running two objects, two JSON objects. Here's a JSON array. So it's herb, and I added the different indexes for each type of herb. And so there's just the output of the different, what you call it, a JSON object, sorry. And there's the output for the JSON array. So let me just run it along. Okay, so yeah, we can see the JSON object is meat, and I displayed the beef JSON string and the chicken JSON string. So something that's really interesting about this is there's a website called JSON Validator. Oh, sorry, it is a JSON validator. It's JSON lint. So I'll just add this in here, and it will validate JSON, and it will just make it easier to read, and how you type out a normal JSON file. So I had, well, let me rather just do this. So I removed an element. So one of these elements I'll remove. So for instance, I'm not a fan of Sage, so I'll take Sage out. And so I remove Sage, and this is now the new herb garden. Yeah, so that would be, in my eyes, object to JSON. So yeah, the next thing was going JSON to the object. So I wasn't too sure how to do that. So I created a JSON file. So username, Mikhail, etc. Course info name, CIT360, language is JavaScript. I have a file reader that reads the table.json file, and a JSON parser, which actually converts the JSON into normal Java language and connects it to the JSON object, or saves it in the JSON object. I then call the username name and the surname name from the JSON, so the username and surname, and I output it over here. And I wasn't too sure why, for instance, I couldn't put a double over here, even though it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to put a long, and I'm not really sure why that is. I'll probably have to read up on that. And then I created a JSON array with the courses, and I output each index for. So, for instance, this is this is the first index and the second index and the third index, and this is their JSON way of outputting it. I then have the course information over here. So I iterate through it, and I connect the course name and the language of each. So CIT120 is JavaScript, 260 is Java. There's quite a few exceptions that you have to catch as well. So file not found. Well, that's because I put in a file, and the path exception to read the file. But yeah, the JSON to JSON string, I'm not sure if that is really needed, because if I put to string, it would still run the same. Let me just quickly get there. So yeah, it runs the same, but I might as well just put to JSON string. Seems fancier. But yeah, that's my JSON page. Are there any questions?
Yes, on that JSON file, do you just created it within the same project, within the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was under. So I just right clicked and I just added a new file. And
do you needed to? Do you needed to? You don't need it to run it from extracted from another different, like an outside source, right?
I'm not sure of that. I am not sure of that.
Like what I'm saying is that obviously you have the file within the project.
Yes.
And obviously, if we want to use JSON to play with data from outside, let's say from a weather website, like some of the other examples, some of the other students were talking about. You will have to create the connection to that website and extract the data through JSON.
Yes, yes.
While in your case, you only directing it within your own